Hello everybody and welcome. Trust you're all well. Looking forward to part 11 of Monty's restoration. Well, as you can see from the bit of film here, we finished part 10. Some of this rear axle cleaned and painted and some of it still to do. So we'll crack on with this axle bit. Pleased to say the other end of them torque tubes came out just as easy as the middle bit did. We've got rid of that. After that it sort of went a bit wrong. I wanted to tilt the axle over a bit so I could get to the inside. Only it didn't just tilt a bit, it sort of tilted rather a long way, and as you can see it's not very happy on them axle stands anymore, and I did think it was coming right off. So after a cup of tea and a fag to calm the nerves, I thought I'd best have a reposition and get it a bit safer. So turned both axles right upside down as far as they'll go, which is a good thing really, because I was wondering how I was going to clean the underside of them. But a better idea is this middle piece, the centre, that's dropped right down now, so that'll make that easier to clean later. I started on this end of the axle. It's not that rusty actually, most of it's just dirt and grime, and it does clean off quite well. But unfortunately, you're battling the weather at this time of year, and I just got started and the heavens opened and down came the rain. And as you can see, by the time I'd packed all my tools and stuff up, the bits I've cleaned are already starting to go rusty. So it's a bit sort of one step forwards and one step back. I'd like to be doing two forwards really, getting on with the thing. But never mind. Back to the shed then. There's always something to do in the shed. I started with these torque tubes. Again, not much rust on them, just dirt and grime really. But anyway, they both cleaned up quite nicely, and here they are with a fresh coat of red oxide just hanging up to dry. So what else are we going to do next? And I'm looking at these brake pipes. Now that length of brake pipe is one piece and it's just under 7 foot long. So I'm wondering, how on earth am I going to clean them? The outside's easy enough, do that with a wire brush. How do I clean the inside of those pipes? Because I know from looking at them, they're full of dirt and carbon and God knows what else. So I'm thinking perhaps the best idea is using some of the acid stuff that Phil's been cleaning bits with. His citric acid and bicarb mix. But I'll need some kind of trough that's 7 foot long to put it in. I've been looking round, haven't been able to find anything. So I thought, well, the only answer is make something. So I managed to acquire a few bit offcuts of aluminium, break out the sheet metal folder, do a bit of measuring and see what we can come up with. So the first thing I want to do is put a bit of strength into these panels that I'm making. So on what I think or hope is going to be the top edge of the trough, I'm going to put a little fold and fold it right over to make a sort of hem. Hopefully that's going to make it a bit stronger. So I've measured in a bit, fold it up as far as it'll go, and then turn it round, do the same on the other side. There we go. Two sides up. Now sit it on the anvil and we'll get the hammer and we'll knock them right over. I'll just move the camera around so you can see what we're doing. Start off working your way along, tapping it over gently until you get it folded right over. Obviously it takes a little bit of time, so I've speeded the video up, save wasting time. There we are, both edges tapped over flat, and that's put, well, a little bit more strength in it. Anyway, right, now I need to fold this again, so we're back to the bench. Move the camera around. On the tape measure. A quick bit of measuring up to make sure I get it right. I want the trough to be about 6 inches wide and deep enough obviously to sit the pipes in. So 6 inches wide at the bottom leaves about 5.5 inches on my bits of aluminium. to make side pieces. That should be deep enough. So again, into the metal folder. Fold that to 90 degrees. Then we turn it round, fold the other side. And yep, one section of trough. And we take our section of trough up to the other side, where we are. Here's the blue Peter ones we made earlier. So I've got 4 bits made up there, and once they're put together, that's just a little bit longer than our brake pipes, which is going to be perfect. So we'll rivet that lot together, make up a couple of end caps, and there we have one little trough. I think that'll do nicely. I did make a little centre brace for it, and then immediately had a second thought. I need to line this with some plastic, and I won't be able to do that with that bar in the way. So that came off. So here we are, trough lined with plastic, full of acid, and 2 pipes sitting in there soaking, and we'll see how they get on. I did spill a little bit when I was filling it up, but that's going to dry up. So while them 2 pipes are doing, we'll move on to the bit of pipe work at the end of the line. This gives you the trailer air tap and the actual trailer line coupling. Now this looks quite badly rusted, so it may take a bit of getting apart. And eventually, I actually used a bit of heat on it to actually get it to split. But anyway, the heat wasn't a bad idea because it did free the tap up. It's still a bit tight, is that? So I'm going to strip that down anyway and clean it up. And as for this union, I'm not sure where to start with that. I think what I'm going to do is put that in the electrolysis bucket first, get rid of some of that rust before I try and undo that, because that might destroy the thread. And as for our trailer coupling, it looked like it was broken off before, and the thread inside's not too happy. So we'll have a look at that, and we'll get that cleaned up as well. So here's our little tapping pieces. There's no rubber seals or anything inside these. It's a straightforward taper, metal to metal fit. So a bit of Brasso up the inside, cleaned all the dirt off. Clean the outside. That's the pin that holds the handle in, and there's the little steel handle. So I think we'll put that handle in the electrolysis as well. I can't put the trailer coupling in the electrolysis. It's made of aluminium. But I've managed to clean the thread up, and the union screws in quite nicely. And there it is, sitting in some paint stripper, getting rid of all that yellow paint. The rubber seal out of it, I think I'm going to need a new one for that. That's got a bit of a split in it. But they're readily available, they are. And then there's a little steel plate off the front and a couple of screws, so they can go in the electrolysis as well. And here we are, all the bits joined together, ready to go in the bucket. Doesn't have to look pretty, so long as it's bolted together and it's going to conduct electricity. And of course, as long as it fits in the bucket. Make sure it's not touching the scrap steel anode. Make sure it's submerged. You've got positive terminal on the anode, negative terminals down the side of there somewheres. Yeah, you can tell you're getting a connection. There's a little bit of sparking going on, which is good. So we know we're connected. Battery charge is showing a little bit of charge. So we'll just leave that to get on. These unions have already been in the electrolysis overnight. They've had 12 hours. And a quick whiz up on the wire brush, and they come up like new. So that's a bit of a result there. Anyway, back to our axle. Hopefully it's going to give up raining and we can crack on with it. But at the moment, the weather's far too miserable. So I think I'm going to have to think of something other than doing it outside. Otherwise I'm going to be delayed, because I'm getting to a point soon where I need to get this back on the truck before I can do any more work. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's all for now. Hope you've enjoyed it. Do tick the like and subscribe boxes if you would. It's all very encouraging, and I'm glad to see there's a lot of people watching. Okay, thanks very much. Bye for now.